TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the co-host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is the closing bell for Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. A lot to talk about. Big menu tonight in bases. Tough menu. Something happened in Boston last night. I don't know, something about a banner and a championship. We'll get into that. But what's really irking me, and I started out on this screen because I was going to split it up. And probably I have like a 10-minute vent session, and it's not going to be fair to Riley. So I'm like, let's get the intro in. Let's bring Riley in and let me vent for a second. Imagine that Celtics win. They cover. All that good stuff, and I'm going to vent for a second. But anyways, shout out to our proud sponsor and partnership, of course, with WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, wherever you download the apps. It's free. Download the app, scroll to the bottom, take advantage of all the states that are available, all the sports books that are available in your state. And from there, we'll take over from there. We're going to start doing a lot of educational pieces using the app, window shopping, turning this from entertainment into sports investing. That's what we've been doing now for 9+ years here. So come on board. And if you want to join the WagerWire team, send an email to affiliate at wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you, and we'll take good care of you from there. Travis, Zach, Amber, Jay, Matt, I mean, the list is endless. Get on board now before it's too late. So without further ado, let's bring in the co-star and the co-host of this show, the one and only Mr. Riley Magnuson. What's up, Rise?
What is up, my friend? I'm curious what the rant is here. Maybe I'm aware, but I mean, we're about banner height right now, at least where you're sitting right now. So I'm curious what we've got to rant about.
Hold on one second. Let me go to here and make sure I did this right. I hope I did. There we go. I saw something that I didn't like, and I'm going to sound like a Debbie Downer. I'm not, guys. Listen, Celtics, amazing year. An amazing playoff run, 16-3. They lose one game, double-digit favorites to the Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat. They lose one game to the Cleveland Cavaliers without Donovan Mitchell for 2 games. They sweep the Indiana Pacers, who lost Halliburton. And each of these teams, by the way, had other injuries as well. They face a number 4 or 5 upstart Mavericks team and basically win 3 games don't even show up for game 4 and basically took care of business for game 5. And some heroic threes from Pritchard to end quarters and halves. And Dave Portnoy, who I love the story, I love from Boston how he started to where he is today. I talk about his story, and I always say this to you and everyone else that wants to listen. If I could just get 5 or 10% of that story at the end of my life, I feel I would have succeeded. And he was there Sunday with the choke on Rory. He was there last night or today stating to the world that do we need to start maybe comparing this Celtics team to one of the all-time greats? And I almost vomited in my mouth. You got the alert. I don't know if you checked your email. I am telling you for fact, and it's not even up for debate, the 86 Celtics would have beaten this team in 4, and I said by an average of 15 points. They could have dictated how many points they wanted to beat them by. Larry, if Luka Doncic, the Michelin man, can average 30, Bird would have averaged 50. They would have had no answer for McHale, Parrish, Walton down low. It would have been a clinic. And it was a great run. And there's no asterisk next to this championship. God bless them. It felt so good for Missoula. Felt so good. Jaylen Brown, last night in the fourth quarter on FanDuel, Jason Tatum minus 550 to win the MVP. And here comes Tatum at plus 650, 700, 800. Steals the show. So I am taking 0 away. And how much do the books respect the Celtics? Next year, the Celtics are favored. They're plus 300 to repeat. The next closest team is Denver at plus 800, Riley. Thank you for allowing me to vent just a little.
No, it's fair, and I looked at the plays for today. I didn't get all the way that far apparently, but no, and I mean they are a very, very, very good team, and I'm not sure what they will go down in history as. And especially, I mean, you in certain cases like this, whether it's the Celtics and the Lakers, obviously, and the NBA have the best way of comparing it within themselves in general, let alone to some of the best teams of all time. But we've got a spot where the parity and the talent is as spread out in the league these last few years as it's been since, the post-Jordan, pre-LeBron era, essentially. And so the Celtics took advantage of not only having 2 stars as well as some other talent, but also putting some deep pieces together and just well-coached team. And took advantage of teams who either weren't as deep or obviously this year had some injuries. I think any of the teams that they ran into at full health, I think the Celtics would have ran into them without going to a 7-game series in general. And I'm not saying you aren't saying that either, but they did take advantage of the time period here where there's no true super team where does this team beat the LeBron, D Wade, Bosh Heat or some of those Golden State teams? I don't know. I think those series would be really good, but I'm not saying they would. I think they would have a good shot, but I think they're closer to being maybe in those companies. I mean, even the last decade, I'd still put the first couple Steph, KD when KD was still, they won those series in 5 over some respectable Cavs teams with LeBron still at his peak. So I'm curious to see where they'll go down in history. As far as a well-rounded team, they will go down in history, but top 10 teams of all time, probably not still.
Yeah, and of course, some of the Lakers with Magic and Worthy and Kareem, they would have lost to them. Some of the Jordan teams, I didn't even bring up the Bad Boys and the Pistons. And then, as you were talking about, the Splash Brothers in their heyday, the Miami Heat with LeBron and Bosh and D-Wade, another good thing. I'm not saying the Celtics weren't a good team. And just off the top of my head, due to circumstances, due to injuries or whatever, I mean, just in the East, they didn't face Giannis. They didn't face Embiid. They didn't face Butler. Out West, no LeBron, no defending champs Denver Joker. They didn't face the OKC team. They didn't face the Red Hot Ant team with the T-Wolves. No KD, no Booker. The list is endless. And again, you only can play what's put in front of you. I get it. That's why I said, congratulations. Great season, great playoff run. It was the perfect storm. They could not have got a better path.
No, and even looking at next year, you had a Bucks team this year that was injured and still trying to come together and what they are and maybe figuring out, the continuity with their coaching staff going into next year. Curious to see. I think they retool their supporting cast a little bit, and obviously, if they're healthy, Dame and Giannis come playoff time, they're going to have that hunger back. Even though obviously Giannis won the title a few years ago, Dame is still obviously going to be very hungry. Giannis is going to be hungry to get back. The Sixers could have some flexibility of retooling their team around probably still Embiid, but retooling their team and potentially adding another star here. And so beyond that in the East, I mean, I don't know who would be another massive shakeup on their roster, but you've got a couple teams, kind of how we saw with the Thunder, that might break out and be a top 3 team in the East next year with some of these teams. I mean, Orlando has been still climbing, and who knows if they add a piece, whether that be their deeper on their roster that fills them out, or you got another guy or two that breaks out, whether it be them or Cleveland or Indiana. I mean, some of these teams can certainly still break out with the youth there. So they are rightfully the favorites going into next year, but I don't think we should be crowning them at this point. I mean, they had the perfect, not only the perfect storm, but what you talked about, perfect storm of being hungry after all the. I mean, for how young Tatum and Brown is, it was shocking to see how many games they've played together without obviously hoisted the title there, and where they rank as far as games played together without winning it. So the hunger was there as much as anyone's ever had in the NBA at this point too.
I'm a sucker for bucket hats. This is the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, one of the Cape League teams right down the road from us, and it was opening day on Saturday. So, we had fun down there. We jumped over to Harwich and watched them play on Sunday, and then they're home again, and we got a team right down the road in Katuitt as well. So again, I'm a sucker for bucket hats. No, spot on there. Again, I'll be interested to see also if San Antonio does anything, to add a piece maybe with Wembayamba, and then obviously their draft picks there. So again, the West is stacked and loaded. Yeah. Some teams are going to do some shaking up. The ice tray there. Trey Young might be available. Donovan Mitchell might force his way out. So there's going to be some moves. And here's what I hate. We talk about the 82-game season, the longevity. We talk about load management. It's an Olympic year. You talked about Tatum and Brown to play. I think they said 104 or 106 games together in the playoffs. So is Tatum, Brown, and Holiday going to play in the Olympics? Porzingis never should have played last night. He just wanted to steal someone else's minutes. He'll probably need surgery. So I hate an Olympic year after the long, long year that they now put forth. Now just watch come November and December, all the tap outs. I need this day off. I need that day off. So again, NBA season over. Potentially tonight, the NHL season could be over. Edmonton on Saturday, a 8-1 shellac, and now they come back to Florida. Bob was pulled after 5 goals. ECSI VIPs should be holding a plus 425 pre-tournament ticket on the Panthers, so you should be sitting very nice there. We talked about Bob early, pre-flop tournament ticket for Conn Smythe if you like the Panthers. I expect them to take care of business today. The under-over is 5.5. I expect – well, it's kind of funny because if Edmond gets down 2 or 3 goals, it's the last game. Potentially, they could pull their goalie with 6 minutes left. I don't know. But right. I do lean the under. I do expect the Panthers to wrap it up as the NBA – it kind of goes usually hand in hand. NBA season ended last night. And you get to June 7th. How about this? The astrology people, the area code for Boston is 617. And yesterday just happened to be 617. So there's your 617 there. And I think something about the banner too. So, but my point is, I kind of sort of expect the NHL to end tonight.
And I mean, Bobrovsky is bouncing back is a big reason why. I mean, the path to whether it be winning tonight or anything crazy going on is McDavid, flipping a switch and being, McJesus 100%. I mean, he was good the other night. Obviously, finally found the net in the cup. So that would be the path if anything changes. So curious to see, but obviously, the total. I'm with you as far as leaning towards the total, but. They're going to get desperate if they get down, so that makes it real sketchy there. So maybe first couple periods under or something like that. I don't know.
ECSI VIPs, my eyes are so sharp in the MLB. Last week, +7 units. Add a little Bryson DeChambeau at 20-1. Last night, 3-0 on team totals. Phillies over 5.5. They get a touchdown 2-point conversion there. Dodgers over 6.5. We needed the extra point and get. I was screaming and hollering. Toscar Hernandez, nice RBI lead to get us to 3, and then he got up 3 different times after first and third, and no mas. And my point is, they had 10 LOBs after 5 innings, and I'm starting to sweat it, but we get there. And then the cherry on top, big difference between 2-1 and 3-0. The Giants team total over 5.5, and that it was like a 1-1 game going to the 7th, and we had the bases loaded. Of course, we don't score. Cubs take a pretty substantial lead. Giants chip away, and then we get the bomb in the 9th to get over. So 3-0 start there. I sent the alert out, some nice prop market stuff today. Here's what I wanted to say. Got a nice price on a over on our team total tonight. And then one of the sources that we use dropped it a run, and now they're -140 to get to 5. And I don't like, obviously, me, I don't play the -140 juices. And so my point is, if you got it at 5.5 tonight, guys, plus the 120, please jump on that. And if you were struggling and you saw it at over 4.5 minus the 140, I don't like those numbers. Well, good afternoon, good evening, Amber. Thank you so much for joining us. And Riley has left the building. I hope I didn't do anything. I hope he's okay. I'll just sit here and talk for a few baseball games for a minute here. I don't know if it's internet, if something happened, but I'll stay here live. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Lodolo versus Falter, an opening number of 135, now down to 124. Here comes Riley. 8.5 down to 8. I lean Cincinnati on Skeen's night yesterday. He gets it done. The 7Ks, so everyone that took the over 7.5 got sniped at the window there. But I think Cincinnati with Lodolo bounces back. If you want to look at a first 5 minus the hook, take advantage of that on some plus money. Here he is. He's back. Everything okay?
I don't know what happened. Yep, I'm all good if you can get me now. I'm not sure what happened there.
No, you just disappeared. I was like, uh-oh. It just
I don't know if my internet surged or what it was. It's I mean, it's 90 plus degrees here, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we had not once but twice alerts on our cell phones that the 911 in Massachusetts was down, so don't use it. And then we get the update at around 4:30 that 911 is up and running. No practice or fake calls this time because they were up and running. But Boston right now, about 95 with 100% humidity. Our ACs are going for the first time this year back at the Cape. So the baseball board's yours. Big board. Pick and choose whatever you want to talk about.
All righty here. So I was curious. Let's see. Let me switch over. We were pretty spot on with a couple last night. We've got in Pittsburgh, Pirates did get the win. It was another Paul Skeens successful day. As crazy favorites. They are now the dog at home, despite being a pretty similar record here. Lodolo has been keeping the runs off the board for the most part here pretty well. Against Bailey Falter here, Lodolo has been 2 or less the last 4. falter, has been a little back and forth, a little inconsistent there. Total is 8.5. Are we to believe we got some runs from at least one of these teams here?
I talked actually as you got wiped out here by the internet or whatever. I like Cincy in a bounce back. I like the spot here on Lodolo. I like it first 5 minus the hook on the plus money side. It will be interesting here. Both teams, this Pittsburgh team, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do financially with the big three. With, they have Skeens and Jones tied up for a while now. And I don't know. I think they got Keller locked up too. So they got a good front three. We know De La Cruz and they got some good hitters. They're going to be a fun team. I'm not putting them in the, Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, we are family yet, but they're going to be a fun team to watch. But I like Cincinnati first 5 minus the hook tonight.
Okay, I can get behind that. I mean, yeah, you've got from going minus 180 at home to being underdogs with a not a terrible matchup is definitely interesting there. You've got, let's see, what was the other one? Going back, Red Sox get the win yesterday. They are road favorites here with Houck on the mound against Bassett. Houck has been 7-5, but 2.08 ERA here. Last time out for him, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. Chris Bassett, last time out, 5 hits, no runs. Last couple have actually been pretty good. We're respecting the Red Sox on the road as favorites here tonight.
Biggest move of the night, overnight, Toronto minus 110. Now at the Circa, our good friends, Derek Stevens, Mr. Benson, Mr. Metcalf. Sox minus 134. You can get the Jays at plus 123. I think it's more of a Bassett versus a Houck here, that big movement. And Chip, the Sox are hot. Like I said last night, it took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. It taken 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. Take the first game on that travel night. I told you that ESPN late game, usually the travel teams lose. The Sox said no bueno. Bo Bichette looking like he's heading to the IL. Sean Alvarez, nice bucket hat, Jeff. Mr. Smooth, this is the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Cape League. I didn't get a free bowl of soup with it, but like I said as I started the show, I am a sucker for bucket hats. So it helps during the cardio sessions. And it's hot and humid here, so much appreciated, my brother. Am I buying the move? God. This would be an auto play. This would be a Sox first 5 minus the hook auto play. They're hot. Jays can't hit. Bassett's not, striking 10, 11 out. They're going to put the ball in play. If I were to play the game tonight, I'd play Sox minus the hook first 5.
I think I'm with you there, and it's interesting. Man, Houck has been having a great season here, and that the Bassett is one guy that I think you can kind of pick off. If he's not getting the respect, I think there's definitely room to pick off of that. The one that I wanted to ask you, we haven't talked about this guy in a while. I feel like we did a couple of years ago. Had a lot of high expectations in Detroit early in his career. Still has some high expectations, but he's 27 years old. He's an MLB pro by now. Casey Mize, 1-4, 4.43 ERA. At Atlanta tonight. Last time out, 4 hits, 1 earned run against the Nationals over 6 innings. Hasn't been able to string him along too much here. Up against a rookie in Schwellenbach for the Braves, filling in for some injuries, obviously. Braves minus 170 though, over or under 9.5 here. Any love for Casey Mize, or is this kind of back to the reverse regression after a nice start last time out?
This is not Acuna and company mashing the ball. Atlanta having a real hard time to score. I am a big Casey Mize fan. I had him in diapers. I thought I was expecting big things. Vegas, I got to trust and respect the opening number here. I did have an overnight number of 9.5, bet down now to 9 over. I expect the Braves to get there today. They need to wake up. I mean, the Mets are hot. I mean, Jesus, we were talking about a fire sale for the Mets not too long ago. And since Grimace threw the first pitch out, they're 7-0. And I think they've won like 12 of the last 15 or 16. So it's time for the Braves to wake up. I think it starts tonight. I expect some runs on the Braves side. Take a look at their team total right now is, where are we? Over 4.5. You got to lay some juice, minus 130. I think they get to 5 or better tonight. and I'm going to sound like a broken record. If you just wanted to get in and you didn't want to lay the lumber, or you didn't want to play the run line at home because they're only guaranteed 24 routes versus 27, I like them in the first 5 minus the hook as well.
Okay, fair enough. Other guy that I wanted to mention, and I don't want to take, I know you got Scotty Webb coming, and you guys doing a great show this evening here. So one more that I wanted to throw out here for a guy that has not been himself this year. Last time out was good, though. Pablo Lopez sticking in the AL Central, hosting the Tampa Bay Rays in Aaron Savali. Savali, a guy that used to pitch in this division. But Lopez, obviously, 6-6, 5.33 ERA. Last time out, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. So a lot of respect on the number here, in my opinion, here at home here. Obviously, the Rays haven't been anything special, but a decent amount of respect, in my opinion, for a guy that's been struggling in Pablo Lopez here.
Yeah, I actually talked to Scotty today, and he likes the Rays team total to get over 3.5. I'm kind of giving you guys a spoiler alert here. He'll be talking about it at 6:15. Everyone here right now, turn on the notification. Scott Webb will be here. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:15, talking tonight's slate, and then he'll be here on the weekends around noon. He likes Tampa to get to over 3.5. He's saying Lopez has not been himself. Twins rounding into form, hitting the crap out of the ball. Here's what I don't like. An overnight number of 150 that has jumped to 185. Again, I'm not buying that move. It's a corrected number. Obviously, they're looking for some raise money here. So if I was to get involved in this game, I think I'd follow Scotty's lead here, take the Rays over 3.5. And right now you can get that at minus 20 cents.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting one, and I obviously respecting that opinion as well. But yeah, Lopez is a guy, obviously, that if the Twins want to be a serious contender, need him to get a lot more consistent. Was very consistent for the most part these last handful of years, Marlins and first couple of years here in Minnesota. So that was really the last one I wanted to talk about, especially with you guys coming on and talking a little bit here of all things Tuesday Night Baseball. So I think we could maybe do a record quick pop here between us on the closing bell, my friend.
College baseball going on. I don't think they're getting the night game in, they said, in Omaha. I think there's going to be rain. I'm not sure there. In the MLB, a great pitching matchup at Wrigley Field. Logan Webb versus Justin Steele. You know my thoughts on Steele. Will he be steel or will he be aluminum tonight? I'm a big fan of this San Francisco team. They came back from the dead last night in the ninth to win the game. Steele opened up minus 110, now minus 107. Here's what I will say. Vegas is very bullish, and the circa is very bullish on the Cubs. You don't find Logan Webb as a dog very often, and the Cubs are slight favorites today. So as much as it hurts me to say this, I think the Cubs bounce back, and they've been playing like butt. But I'm going to root for the Giants. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it until someone tells me to stop. If you don't have any Giants futures, beer and pizza money, $10. I don't care. I'm not saying to win the West, guys. I'm not saying that, but you got to take them to win the NL pennant. Throw some pizza and beer money on them to win the whole thing. I don't know how long Mookie's out. I don't know how long Yamamoto's out. I don't know. Walker Buehler's pitching today. He has not looked great. There's a lot of holes there, and I know the Dodgers will add a few pieces. They're not afraid to trade prospects. So just do it. Go ahead.
I was going to say we've talked about them wanting to be aggressive and add another cornerstone to their roster. I hope the White Sox don't trade Luis Robert, but if they want to get aggressive and add someone that's got 3 years of control instead of trying to add someone free agency, they could pony up and add a boatload of pieces for someone like that they don't have to worry about free agency until, whatever, 2020, I don't know exactly what it is, 27, 28.
Yeah, and on your side, again, I talked about Kopech, who has struggled, but again, someone come playoff baseball, you need arms in the back end. So whether he's a Bridgie in the 7th or the 8th, I talked about the Red Sox in the offseason, ready to move Kenley Jansen. Excuse me. I know they're still, quote unquote, in the wild card hunt a couple games back, but again, a piece that I think could be added to someone, especially in the National League. He pitched for the Dodgers already, so an arm there. Let me see if I can find one more game. Another team with no offense. We're talking about the Red Hot Mets versus Texas. Severino versus Lorenzen overnight. Texas minus 110. Money flip. Now the Mets minus 120 with Severino. He's been good to ECSI. I don't want to get in front of this wagon right now called the Mets, but it did go from an 8 to an 8.5. Mets are scoring at will. Just pump the brakes. If you want to stay on the Red Hot Mets, God bless you, stay with them. But I'm just telling you, Texas opened up as a slight favorite for a reason. Maybe they get the bounce back like the Cubs tonight. I'm rooting for the Giants. I'm not saying I'm rooting for the Mets, but I'm just saying buyer beware on the Mets tonight. That's all.
That sounds good to me, my friend. And I don't have too many closing thoughts. I know you've got another show coming up. We've got a good golf tournament in a couple days. Decent follow up to the U.S. Open. The slate is hot. Season is hot and heavy for golf. So I know you guys will probably be talking about that tomorrow as well. But other than that, I don't have too much to add, my friend. Hoping for an extended hockey series so that we're not. We got a few more days to talk about another game here.
Well, I'm not going to let you off the hook this easy. Scott's going to be on in about 35 minutes. So before you leave and I leave, throw out a homer prop.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I didn't think too much about it. Let's see. We talked about. I don't want to dip too deep into your neck of the woods here, but Rafi Devers is 3 for 8 with 2 bombs against Chris Bassett lifetime. That might be where I'm going.
All right, kind of stole my thunder there, so I will backtrack here. I know King had been allowing a lot of homers, so I'm going to go chalk. Actually, I can't go there. I'm going to go with the Schwarber bomb again. Okay. Schwarber heating up. King again. I'll go a double bomb. How's this? We'll go Schwarber and Harper. How's that? We'll go 2 Phillies.
And I don't have any specific ones, but it's the totals in both Chicago games are high, and it's hot and windy. So you might get the wind blowing in the right direction. Might get a little bloop stretching over the fence in either of those 2 stadiums, north and south side.
Scotty Webb at 6:15. Turn the notifications on. Tomorrow, 5:00. Brady, Kannon, Tea Time Wagers will be here. We will go over a signature event. No Rory McIlroy. Rory's going to take a few weeks off, regroup, and then he's going to defend, I think, the Scottish Open, he said, and then there was another tournament, the U.S. The British Open will be, what's the British Open, about a month? 4 weeks?
Yeah, probably. I don't know the exact date. I know it's mid-July or so, but I can tell you in 2 seconds here. Yeah, about exactly a month, 18th of July.
Okay, so we'll have that in a month. That's Wednesday, Thursday. I'm assuming Julian Edlow, who was at the game last night, will be here probably for his last show of the summer. We'll catch him back in August for football. And then the boys from NCAA Insiders will be here Friday talking Omaha. We'll be talking the championship there. Hoping to get Travis and Zach, or at least Travis on from WagerWire on Friday as well. So, guys, can't thank you enough. If you have not, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Jump on over to YouTube, East Coast Sports Investor. Subscribe. It's free. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell anyone that wants to listen. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Sean Alvarez, of course. Thank you, guys. Without you guys, there'd be no ECSI. So for myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Investor, one and only, Riley Magnuson at Riley_Magnuson, the one. We wish everyone a blessed evening. Cash a few tickets and see Scotty at around 6:15. We'll see you soon.